Hi everyone, it's the Love Aunt here. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at the 8 signs that you're dating a narcissist. Now this doesn't come from a clinical list, but it does come from my own experience. When we're in love and when we're so close to someone, it can be really hard to see or even admit to ourselves that we're in any kind of an abusive relationship. But something that I had to learn is that relationships are meant to feel good. They're not designed to punish you or to abuse you. If you're new to my channel, then I'm a spiritual love and dating coach helping people through their breakups and anxiety. And because I know from my own personal experience the effect of breakups on our overall mental, physical, emotional and spiritual health, I encourage people to use their pain as the catalyst for self-development, healing and transformation, just like I have. Because I found that nothing motivates anyone more than what heartbreak does. So going back to today's topic of the 8 signs that you could be dating a narcissist. Number 1, they don't seem to have any empathy for you or how you're feeling. In other words, they really don't give a shit about how you are. All that they really care about is you showing up for them day in and day out to support them and to admire them. Number 2, it's all about them. Touching the point before, your function is to make them feel good. So they can't tolerate you not being on top form to serve them. And if you happen to be, as every natural human being does, have an off day, then you'll be made to feel really guilty for it. And obviously, they won't show concern. The attitude will be, when you feel like giving me the attention that I deserve and I keep you for again, then you know where to find me. Number 3, they are extremely entitled. That means that they think that as a special and worthy individual, they should have the very best of everything. And that includes you feeding their constant craving for admiration and ego boosting. Remember, you serve as supply to them, meaning that you keep on filling them up with the love, affection, and compliments you give them. They're really like leaky buckets. They need regular top-ups of ego boosting to function, and that's what your relationship serves them. So that's really the basis of your relationship. If you're not fulfilling your role, then you will be punished. Number 4, they play power games because they're deeply insecure people and they're not capable of natural bonding and intimacy. Intimacy absolutely terrifies them because it means being vulnerable and showing themselves, which they can't do. So instead, they play a lot of power games. They always must have and maintain the upper hand over you and be holding the reins of your relationship, which means totally controlling you. They're really good at it because they have a knack of picking partners that are very pleasing people with generous open hearts and go into relationships to give. A narcissist couldn't be with a partner that's not giving because they need to have someone that counters what they aren't capable of doing. Number 5, they regularly punish you. A way of keeping themselves in a state of power, they will find really clever ways to punish you. This will give you the message that you're not doing something right, that you're somehow deficient to them and not good enough. And it's that not good enough message which is really destructive because it affects a person's self-esteem and positive sense of self so much. But it's that not good enough that the narcissist really needs to play on because that means that they have power over you and you'll never leave them. And also in a really twisted and sadistic sense, they really enjoy it making people feel bad about themselves because it gives them the opportunity to feel more powerful and to feel better about who they are. Number 6, they make you feel worthless. This touches everything that I've previously spoken about. A narcissist absolutely needs you to feel worthless and bad about yourself because it keeps them in full power and control of you, like I said. By making you feel that you're lucky to have them despite all of your shortcomings, it devalues you to the point where you're so emotionally and mentally abused that you look to them for approval. In this way, they're lord and lady of your existence and they will be abusive in order to bring you down. They need you to be below them, and if you're below them, that's the only way that they can function because they know that you won't leave them and they'll feel better about who they are by having weakened you. Number 7, they gaslight you and make you question your own sense of truth. The narcissist needs to prep you to incorporate you into their regime, okay? And that means to come into their world and their reality where they are the sun and your function is to orbit around them. So in order to bring you into their regime, they have to start making you doubt your own sense of truth to buy into theirs. So when you've had a disagreement or they've done something and you know full well that they're in the wrong, then obviously a narcissist can never be wrong because they're never anything less than perfect. So they will cleverly manipulate you into coming to terms with how it was you that was in the wrong, and they never did what you know that they did do. So they make you think that you're going crazy, so you will need them all the more to be your reality check. So how could you possibly cope without them? Number 8, they're mean. This isn't a surprise to you, but a narcissist's mean is much worse than a regular person's mean. They know exactly what to say to cut you into pieces because they're fined and they will exploit your weaknesses and insecurities. And they will become really vicious and cruel with it. Now, this usually only becomes worse and worse in time because they'll be testing you throughout your whole time together with how far they can push the boundary without you leaving. And sadly, as is usually the case in these relationships, because they often pick empaths with high capacity of forgiveness that become highly affected by the abuse over time because they're so sensitive. Most of the time, the boundaries of these narcissistic relationships get pushed further and further down to eventually there's none. A narcissist can be vicious and cruel without having a sense of remorse that a healthy human being would have. And this is why they can be really dangerous and damaging to their partners, especially if their partners are sensitive, kind, and giving people, which they're likely to be. So here we have my list of 8 signs that you're dating a narcissist. And if you're suffering in any way from narcissistic abuse, then I would urge you to get some help. I highly recommend Dr. Ramani's YouTube channel, checking her out, because she specializes in narcissistic abuse and relationships. And as for myself, if you have a love question, then you can always email me at theloveaunt@gmail.com. And if you'd like to get an email coaching, then the details can be found below in the description box. For now, thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you again next time, and take care.